All right, hello Honors 410. So we're going to pick up where we left off last time in carrying forward in Joe Hill's Aloft. So for today, I want to start out on page 273 from the printed book. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show it to you all in case you're using other versions, digital versions and whatnot. Where I want to go is specifically this part right here. So we see this black pearl represented. It's a break from text. So as much as Joe Hill does sort of experiment with content in terms of what he's writing about here and making it, speculative in nature, it's a fairly traditional text in terms of just being, printed words on a page, so on and so forth. So I'm curious in terms of what we make of this moment, because it's such a specific choice to break from the text, to include an image right in the middle of the text like this. So I'm just curious what we think Hill was up to, why he would make this choice, maybe what the impact was for you as a reader. Beyond that, another part that's kind of, we started to see it with our reading assignment for last time, but now it's really coming into focus with this section, is the alternating pattern between something happening in the backstory and then the more present story of Aubrey up on this cloud, for lack of a better word. And I'm curious of, we talked last time a little bit about sort of the choice to use flashbacks and why an author might do it and what the dangers or limitations of that are. But with Hill's choice to kind of, again, start to make it an alternating pattern between chapters, why we think he does that, what the impact of that might be. Carrying forward from that, I want to go to page 279 in the printed book. This is the end of chapter 10 from the text. So let's go and read this. By then, his belly hurt from all the water he drunk, using a dipper as big as his own head to collect the rain from his deep tub. By then, he had taken nearly 30-second piss off the side of the island, a golden parabola leaping into the brilliance of the afternoon. By then, Aubrey Griffin had forgotten he was terrified of heights. It had, for the moment, slipped his mind. And I just think this is sort of a powerful moment in the text, just for the notion that ordinarily a fear of heights, that's not something you can forget, right? And so what Hill sort of means when he writes this, what this sort of is telling us about how Aubrey is kind of coming along, how he sort of feels at this stage of the text. Flipping ahead a couple pages to 282 here, this is chapter 12. Maybe let's go ahead and read this full stretch here. It's just these 3 short paragraphs. The stars came out, a swarm of bright sparks in the wintry dark. It felt like winter up here, 10,000 feet above the soil. Aubrey ate the last of his granola bar and huddled in his piles of blankets with the unicorn, pushing it into his face, trying to smell Harriet on it, remembering the way her hair smelled that night in Maine, like pine trees, like juniper. Thinking about Maine, remembering the way they yanked at each other's clothes, kissing almost desperately, Aubrey felt the need for Harriet as intensely as he had ever wanted water. And in the deepest part of the night, she pushed the blankets back and climbed carefully, almost shyly, to his side. A Harriet made of cloud, pillowy white breasts, cool flowing silk for hair, lips of dry fog, tongue of cool vapor. He sobbed gratefully, drew her to him and fell into her, a long, sweet plunge without a parachute. So for this moment here, so this is Aubrey interacting with the cloud in some fairly explicit ways. And so I'm interested in sort of what we make of this. Do we sort of find this beautiful? Do we find this creepy? Do we find this sort of surreal? What are our reactions to this interaction? And sort of, in particular, when we consider the preceding chapter, chapter 11, we get the scene of Aubrey and Harriet actually having their moment of intimacy. How we sort of feel like, going directly from that moment and cutting to this scene of Aubrey and the cloud. What's sort of the effect of that substitution of scene in a way? Again, kind of where this kind of lands with kind of Aubrey and his connection to Harriet. Okay, carrying forward here, I'm going to skip ahead a few pages to 289. So rather than reading a whole section here, I just want to kind of ask about the dynamics between characters in this section. And particularly, what is the sentiment that June is getting across here about Aubrey and Harriet? What is she trying to tell him? What's her point of view on this? and kind of how we react to that, what we think there. Okay, and then just for one other spot that I'm going to take us to for today's class, this is page 300 into 301 here. So this is a few pages into chapter 18. But so we have the discovery of the bodies here, right? So we have the married couple, Nell the bride, and the balloonist who would have left Marshall and he shot them. I'm just curious about this moment of kind of discovery, when Aubrey kind of comes upon them, when we kind of get a little bit of a sense of sort of history there, how long ago this was, and what that might imply about our present moment and Aubrey up on this cloud. I'm just curious of what we make of it. What is the story here? How does this inform our understanding of the more immediate story that Aubrey is going through? What your reactions to it in general might be. So once again, I also invite you to go to other parts of the text here if you have other parts you were sort of interested in or have questions about. The only thing I'll ask is, again, try to avoid spoilers. I know some people tend to read a little bit ahead. I think this is a fairly readable novella, and sometimes the plot just kind of hooks people and they keep reading. That's perfectly fine to read ahead. Just in our comments, please aim to focus them on kind of the immediate section that we're on, or potentially looking backwards a little bit if it's kind of affected how you read those parts with what we've read for today. But we'll carry forward with the final leg of Aloft for next time. I'll really look forward to hearing what you all think about it. All right, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the discussion here.